As part of the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority's arts program, Washington Dulles International recently unveiled DC-based artist Anil Revri's Wall for Peace 2011 sculpture in Concourse AB. The placement of this sculpture adds to the enjoyment of the millions of passengers who travel through Dulles Airport, a hub of international activity. On August 22nd, the media was invited to see the installation and talk to the artist.
The inspiration for the piece comes from various places. The Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, Mecca, and Sufi shrines in India. In fact, the idea of circumambulation belongs to most all religions, earlier part of Christianity, but it still exists. So the idea in this was to promote peace and non-violent resolutions to conflict, to include one scripture from each of the 6 religions represented here, which are Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, and Sikhism, which are also active in contemporary India at the moment. There are a couple of them which have not been included, but I thought that this would provide an adequate platform to discuss this theme. This is my first attempt at sculpture. It was prepared as a site-specific piece for American University because of the space, and it was accompanied by a lattice partition where people could tie white ribbons or silver ribbons as they exited to sort of in a show of solidarity with those who preferred peaceful and non-violent resolutions to conflict. So it worked really well. This location we discussed with Margaret and Richard seemed to work ideally for this piece as opposed to any other in this place because of the different exits or entry points. This was created after I had seen the space at American University, and it was something that I'd wanted to do because I've worked with text and scripture. In fact, the same scriptures have been used in drawings previously. Each line has all 6 because I wanted to be very diplomatic about this. Each line has all the 6 texts in alphabetical order, and then the first line begins with Buddhism. So then the second line begins with Christianity, but then again they're all 6, so it just keeps going down. And all 6 of them have the same message. I've sort of got an idea to take it to India, especially, to Bombay, where we had the tragic events of 26th of November. So this could work there as well. As I was talking earlier, the piece is inspired by the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, Mecca, and Sufi shrines, which I've seen a lot of them in India. The idea of circumambulating around a monolith is how I got the inspiration to do the piece. It's my first attempt at sculpture. It was created for my exhibition at the American University Museum earlier this year. And what I'm trying to portray with this is that I've got 6 religions portrayed with themes of peace. And they're on the surface or the skin of this monolith. So unlike what happens in Mecca and other places where you have a sea of people that circumambulates the central structure, the scripture itself here circumambulates a sort of invisible supreme being, if one might call it, to pay homage to that supreme being. So the people and the scripture work as one unit, paying respect to the ultimate reality. My partner and I submitted a proposal to them because I really wanted the project to go to an extremely high visibility area because of its message of peace, and especially with the sort of hate crimes that have been prevalent in the last few years. I thought it'd be a good idea that the more people that saw it, the better. And so when we received a message from the airport's authority to say that they were interested in showing the piece, that I jumped at the opportunity, because I'm told roughly 30,000 people go through this location every day. This is going to be here for at least 8 months and possibly longer. The material is LED, which is a relatively new and very expensive technology. So we've got LED modules on an aluminum frame, and the reason I've designed it also in a sort of rectangular wall cabinet-like fashion is to represent this monolith. And the people that I got in touch with about the LEDs, I had to learn first. The whole process took about 8 months till I was able to design it or tweak the design to sort of make it work with the technology. So the people who made this for me in California took into consideration that I wanted it to be a skin where on this particular aluminum frame, and I wanted the text to scroll across all 4 sides. I'd rather not mention the cost, except to say that it's extremely expensive, at least for me. I am from India originally, and I spent my formative years in Bombay. I graduated from JJ School of Art and have spent a lot of time in those locations and with those people. As they say, you can take an Indian out of India, but you can't take India out of him. So something like that.